Great. Good afternoon and welcome to the webinar of welding assembly and heat treatment predictive solution. Heading of webinar itself speaks about what it can take care of: weld quality and performance optimization, assembly distortion control. Obviously, why control as a word we're using is because can you mute Abhijit yourself, please? Please mute. Okay, perfect. And why we use control is because we all understand welding brings in some amount of distortion for sure. We cannot eliminate it completely. And the same solution can be extended even for heat treatment process qualification also. Myself, Kushal Kesrod from Sentio Technologies, and handling all technical activities in the area of simulation, various different type of simulations. Okay, with this, thank you very much for joining us. And I think next 45 minutes or so, you are going to listen to me. We can have a question and answer session post that. We have one of the panelists who is an expert in welding. He's gold medal metallurgist from IIT Bombay. He is Mr. Asim Anshul from ESI Group, and he's also one of the panelists, so he will be helping me answering your questions as well. Okay, so with that, I will just start the presentation. 1 minute. Okay, let me give you a small fact before we get into the today's topic. Facts about welding. Over more than 50% of the man-made products rely on welding, majority of the fabrication. While you look at welding as a process being used at every nooks and corners, we see around, but it is most skillful process compared to any other manufacturing method. Hence, process parameters are very important. Okay, I think most of you will be agree to me. Some of the welding defects summary. Dragging causes of distortion. So what are those reasons? Component design itself could be one of the reason. Weld sequence, we all understand by weld sequence also you can control a distortion. Clamping position obviously is a most important factor over here, and it's the location also. Heat source parameters, depending on thickness of the welding thickness of the component that you are welding together, whether the heat source is appropriate, whether you are applying more heat or less heat, that also will make a lot of difference. Material property obviously is one of the major reason. Next defect majorly seen is cracks. And what are the causes? High residual stresses. I mean, if you over clamp it, you may see a lot of residual stresses in component. Non-uniform stress distribution. This could happen not only by temperature difference, but it could be because of the phase transformation and a lot of other things as well. Improper phase formation, this was one of the point that causes crack. Cause for improper fusion zone. I mean, many a times, the fusion of the component is not proper. So that is because of improper heat input, incompatible dimensions, like, depending, I mean, based on thickness of the component, whether the groove depth and groove preparation is proper or not, filling is done properly or not. So that depends on component as well as groove preparation and so on. Okay. Few more things. If you look at failures, structural failures in fabricated components, majority of the times what we see is failure happens near to a welding joint and not exactly the welding as a joint. That is majority of the place. That is because of heat affected zone. If it's a mechanical property changed, if a lot of residual stresses are infused by welding process, all those could be reasons why structural failure happens. Some other issues, obviously distortion. one of the most important issue to be taken care of, because uh, functional performance of any assembly, fabricated assembly, weld assembly, is depend on distortion. Obviously, while we say distortion cannot be eliminated but can be controlled, and we have to control within the desired limit is what is important. Anyways, so with that, I would just like to put forth one of the study carried out by American Society of Mechanical Engineers, where majorly contributing factors are placed, such as poor process condition, operator error, wrong technique, like torch angles and process parameters and so on, incorrect consumable, depending on what components you are, what material you are fusing together, depending on which you have to choose appropriate consumable. Bad weld grooves, again, that is one of the major factor. Except one, which is operator error, all others are essentially can be controlled by process fine tuning, or by it can be controlled by process engineer rather. Okay, so how do we do that? If you are able to get an answer for all these questions which are posed here, then I think you will be able to control or eliminate the defects or reduce the defects that we have listed above. Is the selected heat source appropriate? Depending on the thickness, whether I am providing overheating or underheating. If it is overheating, you understand that it penetrates through. If it is underheating, you may probably see inappropriate fusion happening. Is the selected filling material feasible? Obviously, compatible filling material is important. Are the weld joint sequence planned well? I mean, it definitely, we all understand that weld sequence is one of the important thing in order to not only control distortion, but also how can we minimize the induced stresses in the component. Are welding parameters optimum? There are many parameters, but major parameter is like heat source and velocity of the or maybe speed of the welding, you can say, and then torch angle and so on and so forth. The more you depth in depth you go, so many parameters basically come in picture. So we have to get an answer whether the welding parameters are optimum or not. Are the clamp location forces selected properly? Whether I'm over clamping it or under clamping it is something that needs to be answered. Are the obtained distortion acceptable? Obviously, we have already discussed that distortion can be controlled and cannot be eliminated. So we only have to ensure that the obtained distortion are acceptable or not. Okay, so if we get an answer to these questions, how will we get why cis weld comes in picture? So what is welding? Sorry, I mean, I'm not putting forth this what definition of welding is. Just to emphasize, the welding definition itself has mention as to coalescence, that is joining, resulting from a suitable condition of temperature, which is thermal, pressure which is mechanical, and metallurgical state. So there are three physics which are involved in any permanent joining process, that is welding. Okay, and if you look at the process cycle, how three physics are interdependent: thermal, mechanical, metallurgical. Because of thermal, if there are any mechanical will there be any mechanical distortion? Because of metallurgical phase transformation, obviously we will see a lot of induced stresses, sometimes even distortion also. So they are all interdependent. Similarly, thermal and metallurgical are also, if it is, let's say, high heat weld pool, it will have a phase transformation, and then in turn it will have various mechanical effects like distortion or induced stresses or something like that. So they are all interdependent, and that is basically making cis weld different from conventional thermomechanical solvers, because cis weld takes care of all three physics together in tandem. Most important thing. Okay, Before we go further, just like to tell you about how CISWELD is being used across industry. The major industry verticals here are mentioned, like auto, energy, aerospace, and heavy industries, and they vary from around 28% is automotive, majorly used, because that is where a lot of fabrication criticality comes in picture. Then next is energy and power, in which safety becomes an important. Like if you have a large pressure vessel, well joints, well connections are very important. If there are reactors, makes it very important. Why welding should be appropriate. I'm sorry, it is. I mean, slides are automatically going. I don't know. And then comes aero, which is at around 11%. Obviously, in aerospace also a lot of fabrication happens, but which is most important? Heavy industry and so on. Okay. And then there are some customer references globally, again pertaining to individual industry verticals, such as heavy industries. You can see quite big name like Nation Steel, NavSub, JFE, and ArcelorMittal, and so on. In aerospace, you can see all big names: Airbus, Pratt Whitney. Energy, again Doosan, Toshiba. Some of them are present even in India also. And then in automotive, lot of big names like Honda, Volkswagen, Toyota, GM, and so on, right? Some of the CISWELD users in India, I mean, most of them are like, some of them are like research institutes like DRDO, BRC, IGCAR, ISRO, and some of them are like heavy manufacturing companies: Volkswagen, Ford, JCB. NTPC is again energy, JSW is energy. These guys are also making use of this technology very well. Okay, these are some of the research paper from India itself, which talks about how CISWELD is being used in carrying out their research work. So first paper belongs to ITER, where how they have used CISWELD in fusion grade reactor. Essentially, it's a thick welding, multipass welding, and how they have made use of it is one paper that talks about. Second paper is more on a metallurgy, because it belongs to very well-known magazine, Material Science magazine, and they have predicted or checked influence of phase transformation on thermomechanical analysis. And third paper goes in a little more detail about the behavior of weld joints from a metallurgy as well as thermal perspective. Okay, so these are Indian research paper speaks how CISWELD is being used extensively at their places. Okay, this is how the CISWELD works, welding architecture and CISWELD. How this is how it works. I don't want to basically put forth a very complex wordings before you, but then just to make you understand how in-depth study CISWELD carries out. I mean, if you look at first figure, in which the solver, a red zone in between, it basically takes care of thermal as well as metallurgy. Okay, in close coordination with the phase transformation. Okay, it ensures that latent heat of solidification or fusion and metallurgical transformations can be taken into consideration. And at the end of this first step, the information available for each element of material includes not only its thermal history, but also its metallurgical history. As we have discussed already, that phase transformation has a major contribution in mechanical properties also, I mean distortion or induced stresses. And then what you see on the rightmost side is, how fine tuning of heat source can be essentially done depending on your requirement. Then what you see at the lower end is how metallurgy and thermal, both physics are working together in tandem with mechanical. Okay, and in order to work them together in tandem, there is a lot of material inputs that are basically required. Any mechanical or thermal properties that you basically enter are function of temperature and phase. So that ensures how accurately you will be able to calculate outcome, whether it is related to mechanical, thermal, or metallurgy. So that's the basic architecture of SysWeld, which ensures that the results are going to be most predictive. This is a simple graph, which basically speaks a lot about why SysWeld has to be used, or any technology like SysWeld needs to be used. If you look at leftmost side, whether there is no clamp during fabrication or during assembly, what is going to happen? You will definitely have large distortion in it. You may not have any plastic strain, but in order to functionally verify or functionally make use of a component, the large distortion obviously not advisable or not allowed. Okay, so risk of process failure and high distortion is there when you don't clamp it. If you fully clamp it, obviously you are able to control the distortion, but plastic strain is maximum there. And what are the risks? You induce the risk of in-service failure. You may have a lot of warranty claims field. Some of them may be very dangerous because, like, for example, you have a wheel rim, and that itself needs a replacement. Isn't it a big thing? Maybe let's say you have a chassis that itself has got major failure. I don't think this will be acceptable by end users. High residual stresses and plastic strain will be induced because of fully clamp. So what is that we need to basically get? So if engineers are able to predict the optimum clamping and what is, I mean, they should be able to strike the balance between distortion and plastic strain. That's where we need to reach. Okay, so for that we'll be taking help of technology like SysWeld. Now, what different type of analysis you can use SysWeld for? Virtually all type of welding that you see around, whether it is arc welding, multipass arc welding, or laser welding, spot welding, EBW, friction stir welding. There are some more functionalities which basically talks about how you can use same solution for PWHT and weld grain modeling. I think this is mostly for additive manufacturing. Okay, so virtually all type of welding you will be able to simulate here. If I have to describe the complete solution in single slide, I think this is the best slide that I basically see. One, if result is predictive, then only I'm going to believe in the technology. What it means is, like whatever microstructure you see, micrograph you see practically, you should be able to predict it in simulation also. That's what picture basically shows here. Intuitive, easy to use. Obviously, while we see the phenomena, welding phenomena is a complex which includes 3 different physics together. Obviously, that demands more number of inputs, isn't it? Not only welding parameters, but also a lot of material parameter, which are material properties, which are temperature and phase, function of temperature and phase, and then so many different things further. But it has a step-by-step process driven GUI, which basically ask you inputs in a proper sequence. So very easy to handle. And third most important thing is industrial and versatility in use. I mean, in the sense, this is not being used only by researchers. Whatever industry applications you have in terms of large components, large assemblies, you should be able to handle it. Obviously, to help that, you have multi-processor parallelization and all these there in the solver. So you don't have to worry about the size of the problem that you tackle. Tailored process oriented. What it means, the moment you select one type of welding, for example, let's say arc welding, it will have a lot of different parameters such as torch angle and welding speed and things like that. The moment you go to spot welding, it will have a different parameters. So in first step, if you select one particular type of welding, rest of the parameters, rest of the steps will automatically ask you relevant information only. That's where Taylor process oriented comes in picture. So it doesn't confuse you. Okay. Chained with other solution. I mean, like you would have probably seen or maybe heard about why field results are not matching with the CAE results. One of the major reason is what you do in CAE is as designed and what you get in field is as manufactured, isn't it? So as manufactured, when we see, there are a lot of induced thing that you basically that particular assembly goes with. For example, any component first go through the forming. So a lot of induced stresses by forming. Then comes fabrication. Because of welding, there are additional stresses may get induced. And with all those induced stresses, plastic strain, its performance will be checked. Let's say crash analysis you are doing. Definitely, if you don't consider this induced stresses before, the results are not going to match. Simple. So chaining of the solution is become an important, right? So I'm going to discuss this individually further, which will make you understand. This we have already seen. What it shows is it's quite predictive and intuitive. There are let's say a couple of 9 steps that you go through. First, you will basically choose what type of welding you are going to do, and then related to that welding information, then certain parameters like heat source and what is initial time and number of sequence of joints and so on and so forth, clamp location, what is the clamping force, all these sequentially you will choose and finish your setup and solve it. That's how the step-by-step process is. Next, you see a lot of images here. The left on the top is basically a reactor vessel in which you have multi-pass of the welding, like 50 or 16 numbers, along with the cladding. So you have continuous welding for cladding and so on. Second, what you see is kind of a very large fabricated structure, wagon kind of structures, and then girders in which a lot of cross stiffeners inside, and then all end plates and close plates and top plates and so on. So a lot of welding involved in this kind of structures. So those kind of industry applications also can be made use of. Now this talks about chaining of stamping results with welding. So what essentially is being done here is whatever induced stresses stamping includes is taken further during the welding, or whatever welding induced stress, induced stresses welding in has done is taken further for PWST, and then can be seen whether because of post weld heat treatment, whether I am able to reduce the stresses or not, induced stresses or not. So those kind of thing can be chained together. This is one of the very nice example, like stamping induced some stresses here. You can see the maximum is around 650 MPa. Okay, and after carrying out heat treatment, okay, the maximum stress, the same zone, what you see is around 470 MPa. Okay, so stress relieving after stamping is quite common practice in the industry. Now, whatever heat treatment you have chosen, whether you are getting desired stress relieving or not, If not, you may have to probably fine tune heat treatment, or you may have to use another type of heat treatment which can help you relieving the stresses. Chaining of stamp result with a heat treatment in Sysweld gives user to capture actual and accurate condition. This helps user to define, optimize proper process condition. That's what I said, that if your heat treatment process is not appropriate, not helping, then you may make changes in order to make it proper. This is simple example in which, during welding, maximum stress at particular location, critical zone is around 621 MPa, and after heat treatment, that critical zone stresses are brought down to 181 MPa. So whether this is acceptable or not is something that engineers can basically go ahead with. While we have seen all different type of welding, I also said that the same solution can be used for post-weld heat treatment, which we have already seen, and then weld grain modeling also, which is newly incorporated thing. Before which, one more functionality which I thought should be included in presentation is fatigue analysis, weld fatigue analysis, that uses Dangvan criteria. So Sysweld is equipped with this criteria to do a weld fatigue analysis. With the help of this, user can get an idea about nature of stress buildup at weldment of a different loading condition, for different loading conditions. By monitoring the stress condition, user can estimate about the hotspot, which are the hotspot, mainly from a operational life point of view. Okay. So again, in the last stage, if you want to include Dangvan criteria, you want to carry out fatigue analysis, you may have to put couple of parameters, A/B parameters, and then you will be able to predict the fatigue behavior also. Next is grain modeling and advanced modeling. This is new functionality which is included. If you have any questions, we can probably discuss further during the discussion, because Asim is also there as panelist. This is another functionality which which basically helps you take care of spot welding crash. So spot weld basically puts some amount of effects into your assembly. So you can actually see how spot weld ruptures. Okay, this is an example, practical example of that, without considering a spot weld, how it behaves, and then you can make use of this. It automatically detects the critical weld, and the second run with the spot weld, how the rupture analysis is basically taken care of. Model was failing at lower stress compared to simulated because the welding as a process or induced stresses because of welding were not considered, right? And this was carried out by Nippon and Honda combinedly. This is again spot weld rupture case, and this particular experiment basically carried out the matching with the experimental results was quite close, but anyways, those graphs were not provided by the customer because of the confidentiality, but the results were in good agreement with the test and the analysis model. So Sysweld in glance, I mean, just to summarize that, Sysweld is the most predictive multi-physics software for welding and heat treatment simulation, accounting for all three physics that we have already seen: thermal, metallurgical, and mechanical. It is an easy to use. You have seen it's just a step-by-step process, dedicated FEA-based code and robust software package to simulate both welding and heat treatment, from qualitative to quantitative analysis. SysWeld can handle either 2D element or 3D elements with equally easy. Availability of this feature in SysWeld authorize users to chain welding simulation with other solutions like stamping, PWHT, durability analysis, etc., in order to capture full performance of the component as manufactured. Most important. SysWeld offers a complete portfolio of processes. It can simulate almost virtually all type of welding that we see around: arc, electron beam, laser friction, laser welding, friction stir welding, submerged arc welding, spot welding, and heat treatment processes such as tempering, carburizing, carbonitriding, quenching, etc. Okay. SysWeld is an exclusive tool of its kind, which enables user to retrospect the metallurgical changes of the weldment. I mean, I think this is the only tool, I would say, which basically helps you retrospecting the metallurgical changes. Researcher can study the microscopic aspect of welding and heat treatment and can produce best case scenario. We can have a look at some of the case studies. This is from Volkswagen. Two case studies together. One is in transmission. The experimental and simulation graphs are quite matching. You can see on the left lower corner, the graph is quite in agreement. Okay, these are some of the parameters which are basically given. What was the energy, or let's say heat source given, and all other parameters rather. Okay. What is the velocity of welding? And then other component, I think it's part of the fender, sheet metal component, in which again at different time stage the results were compared, and you can see they are quite in agreement, like almost overlap. The graphs are almost overlap. So phenomenal. I mean, this kind of results matching is something really great that one has to accept. This is for a large industry, heavy industry. It's a naval company, which has used SysWeld and predicted, or rather compared results with the practical experimental, in which they have carried out the scanning. And next slide can probably show it to you as to how obviously you can see the effect on this particular component, like Hungry Horse, where I'm sorry. You can see quite large distortion, which is obviously measured as well as simulated, and all these red dots, which are measured distortion, and green are predicted one. You can see they are simply parallel everywhere, obviously with some amount of difference. I'm sorry, why it is coming out automatically. Okay, then John Deere tractor component, in which this was used. Okay. This is another example where the complete solution was basically chained, right from stamping to a welding simulation, and this does not make any difference if the meshing is different, because obviously stamping you will have a different kind of meshing, whereas welding will have a different meshing. You don't have to worry about the results. Results can be mapped from one place to another place. Okay, then arc welding is carried out. Then the stress from stamp and weld you can be seen here. Then position and holding of distorted subassembly, remeshing, again arc welding, and this is how it reached to a durability analysis. So because you are reducing assumptions here, and you are taking care of all the actual processes as built, the result matching with a testing is going to be much more nearer compared to what otherwise you would have got. This is how, depending on type of clamping, you will be able to use clamp spot here. Okay, in what degrees of freedom particular clamp type clamps it, based on which in software also you will be able to use those clamps. This is about spot weld. You can in fact mesh the spot itself, as to what is the diameter of the spot that you're holding, because instead of holding it on point, if it is distributed, obviously, because spot when you do spot weld, your spot will have certain amount of diameter, so that can be defined here. That is kind of a tool creation here, automatic tool creation for a spot welding. Okay, its shape and size can be defined, and that is how spot weld results you will basically see here. Okay, distortion prediction for the different grooves. You can carry out the experimentation as such, whether V kind of groove or a X kind of groove will basically help me better. So various parameters you can vary and see, and then you can apply it to the assembly completely at the end. Okay, so what is the value proposition in terms of cost? So design cost, allow feasibility of design. I mean, upfront you will be able to check without carrying out the lot many trials. Eliminate upstream design cost, eliminate delay due to rework, because if you find it is not within the acceptable distortion limit, then you may have to do rework. That includes cost as well as time. Tooling cost, you are going to use appropriate clamping locations and clamping numbers. That not only eliminates rework, but it also saves time. Eliminate penalties due to delays. Obviously, time is important. Avoid expensive tooling. As I said, you don't over clamp or under clamp, which definitely is going to help you. Avoid over constraining. Prototype cost. Obviously, instead of doing a number of trials, you may have to probably finalize within a one or two trials, and then you can finalize with mass production. So it is going to definitely help you saving prototype cost. And obviously, if your process is very well defined and smoothened, the production cost also is going to increase, because your production rate, because of the appropriate number of clamps and all, is going to increase. It will definitely reduce scrap. It eliminates weld repair, and obviously, because of delays which we have already seen, it eliminates penalty also. What value addition SysWeld can essentially bring in to the organization? Realistic tolerance. Designer can anticipate the distortion trend at the early stage of product, because the simulation results and test results are quite matching, so quite in agreement, so you can always rely on this and can define achievable tolerance so that they can come up more feasible product design in first go. So you don't have to do a back and forth. Material assessment. User can identify stress distortion as a function of material property, and SysWeld can guide user to come up with a more suitable material grade. In order to satisfy the function, if designer is already designed the component and you hardly have any flexibility, then you may probably choose appropriate material grade in order to get desirable outcome. Heat source input parameters, you can fine tune them beforehand, so that during the process you don't have to really worry about. It could be what is the weld velocity, appropriate weld velocity, current and voltage combination, um, and this can help you to optimize heat affected zone properties also. User can optimize operating conditions also, like torch angle, etc. So much of in-depth input that you will be able to fine tune in order to get sound welding. Optimized weld plan in terms of what is the optimum sequence in order to reduce the distortion and reduce induced stresses. You can optimize the weld plan. Clamping condition, obviously, location as well as the amount of force that you want to put forth, and for a given given clamping condition, what are the plastic strain values, that also can be seen beforehand. And knowledge set, user can build a data set for the new set of welding assemblies as well. So over the period of time, you're going to get a lot of insights on your welding process, and eventually you will be able to even have a huge knowledge bank with you when you're going to use technology like this. Okay, with this, I'm done with the presentation, I think in time. If you have any questions, Asim, you will be able to unmute yourself. If you have any questions, please put forth. You can type your questions, or you can raise your hands, so that I can unmute you. 1 minute. 1 minute. I was able to see raised hands. One minute. Okay, so any questions related to welding as a process, or chaining solutions, or in terms of feasibility and application? If you have, you can put forth. 1 minute. I think Mr. Mangesh raised the hands. Oh, 1 minute. If you can type your questions, sir, in the okay. So Mr. Bhaskar Rao asked, hi, this is Bhaskar from Minda Industries. I may have missed due earlier part of the presentation, but question is, what material are covered under this tool? Okay, it's a huge material library that we have. Not only like steel, aluminum, and different grades of steel, but also has a lot of commercial grades as well. Asim, would you like to add some points here?
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, Kushal, that we have a very rich library with us, and it includes material from the ferrous as well as from the non-ferrous. So, and a user can find a commercial grade here, especially for the different industry sector, as well as we have a library which can address the filler material grades as well. So user can pick those material from the database, and they can use it for the simulation. Now, I would like to put a point here that currently we are moving towards electric vehicle generation, EV generation. It's coming into the picture, and with EVs coming in the picture, as well as due to the lightweighting prospect of automotive industry, we are coming across the situation where probably welder have to join two dissimilar material. Says we have some combination where one material is steel and the other material is aluminum, and these two material has a good difference, a good amount of difference in the melting point, and that poses a complexity to the welder to weld it. Even it could be a spot or it could be an arc. So to address such situation, virtual prototypes are going to play a vital role, and that's why our welding assembly and heat treatment solution is quite effective to address such situation where we have to deal with the dissimilar material. Okay, so
That's great.
that's on the material part.
I think, sir, you have got your answer. Another question, Asim, Mr. Mangesh is asking, is wanted to get an idea about microstructure evaluation, I think he meant to say, after welding using this software.
Very good morning, sir. Yes, we can do when it comes to metallurgical analysis of the welding through the SysWeld. We have two prospects. One is regarding the phase fraction prediction. Say, if you are doing welding simulation, so with the help of our solution, one can predict that what is the metallurgical phase difference around the weld line, around the heat affected zone. So one can predict that for this particular location, this is a fraction of XYZ grade, and for the other location, this is a fraction what we are getting. And now, when it comes to texture study or crystallographic study, so we have a model called CAFE model. So the grain orientation as well as the grain elongation. So such kind of phenomena can also be estimated with the help of our solution, and this can be further implemented for the qualitative inspection of the weld. Okay, so
okay.
I hope.
So another question from Ms. Mangesh himself. Is it possible to predict precipitates formation?
Precipitation, yes. So yeah, up to extent we can estimate it. Yes, with a proper material selection and the proper material modeling, that can be estimated.
Right. Mr. Vijay Tiwari, I will unmute you, sir. You raise your hand if you have any question. Please ask us directly. So I have unmuted you.
Yeah. So actually, my question is, see, actually, in the field of welding, there is much to do with the welding machine and the operator. Now, there are varieties of welding machines like inverter-based welding machine, TIG welding. Then, if you go to the process like TIG welding, MIG welding. So, I have seen in L&T that we have developed some MIG process, which nearly, not exactly, but they nearly give the quality of TIG. And that's how, you increase the welding efficiency of the product or of the vessels. So my question is, if you keep on changing the machines, inverter base, and there are programmable machines also, so all these factors are taken into account in this, because there are various kind of machines, there are various kind of processes, there are various kind of operators.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. And yes, we have provisions in our solutions to capture these kind of variations. It could be manual variation, means it depend upon the kind, whether the welding process is going to be robotic, or it could be manual welding, and as well as we can consider the variation of the heat source also. So there are ways to simulate for such situations.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So
let me. Yeah, thank you, sir. Let me unmute.
Sorry, and one last question, sir. One last question.
Yeah. Tell me, sir.
Suppose somebody is expert in carbon steel fabrication, correct? They are making carbon steel vessels and all those things. Suppose they get order for stainless steel. Does your software will help to define all the parameters for welding?
Exactly, that's what we meant to deliver. So yes, it can be done. You can say, suppose in our database, in one of the slides where Kushal was mentioning that we have a different set of material. Yeah, so probably for this simulation, the input could be the CAD. Then from our database, user can select SS304 or 316L or whatever you are looking for. And then first, we can perform qualitative analysis here to optimize the process parameter with respect to the weld put dimension. So when I say a qualitative analysis, user can optimize the current, voltage, welding speed, some parameters like that. So
Correct. That's what is important.
first we finalize our weld pool dimension, and then the next aspect could be on the stress optimization and the distortion control. So in this way, we can proceed forward.
So, for example, sir, sorry, for example, if I, this is my last question for the day. For example, somebody, if they want to switch to aluminum welding, because aluminum welding is very difficult, because aluminum melts at 660 degrees centigrade.
Exactly.
Exactly, the welding of aluminum is, quite. So, those who have never done the welding of aluminum, this can be helped to them, because it's a very sensitive welding.
Definitely. That is the purpose of a virtual prototype. To means say the team who has quite unknown towards the aluminum welding. So the idea is here that they can use this solution to predict the required properties, to predict the weld pool, to predict the strength around the heat efficiency. But when it comes to aluminum, the behavior will also differ. That in that aluminum, the zone closer to the welding area has a different mechanical trends compared to when it comes to steel. So
Exactly.
things can be done. Such things can be estimated before going for a physical prototype. And probably in one of the slides, Kushal was mentioning that the idea behind this solution is to enable our user to face the situation which are totally new in terms of process. So that could be very much taken care by this solution.
Right. And
Okay.
get an insight.
Thank you very much.
Right, sir. Get an insight for majority of unknowns that you have around. So even if you have not yet experienced it, right, sir.
Okay.
So yes, I will now unmute Mr. Mangesh. He also has raised the question hand. 1 minute, huh? Why I'm not able to? Mr. Mangesh, you please unmute yourself, sir, because I'm not able to unmute you from here.
Thank you.
Okay,
I can do that.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for the very nice presentation. I think this is the most complex area, I think, in metallurgy, because this process particularly, is something where you are remelting the metal and you are changing the entire history of your raw metal which has been used, and then the predating, the subsequent the microstructures and mechanical property, maybe the stress evolution and all sorts of things, complex. So, so I think I have a couple of questions to get the clarity, because I think this kind of software will make the life easy for developer or maybe a process guys who are working really on optimization of weld strength or maybe the welding soundness. So the first question would be, say, for example, with this, I think we can able to control the microstructures as well as heat affected zone by changing the parameter during my simulation. Am I right?
Yeah, we can monitor
it.
And,
control.
Okay. The second question would be, say, for example, in many cases, in many materials, I think welded region is considered as a weakest zone. But then, is there anything this one can do to basically change the microstructure and shift the weaker region to the to the non-welded area?
Yes, means this is a solution which can be used by user to simulate for the various condition. So yeah, definitely, if welding unit has an idea that you say if they do some XYZ variation in the process or some variation in the design, then how it's going to reflect. So that can be well estimated with this welding assembly and heat treatment solution. And the benefit here will be that the welding team, they need not to go for the physical prototype build-up, or they need not to invest too much time in terms of managing that those experiment physically. They can save a scrap cost by running those simulation in in their hardwares, and they can simulate for n number of possibilities to come up with the best optimum way to proceed ahead in the physical situation.
Okay, I think that's going to be a very good advantage of this particular, because otherwise
Right.
doing n number of DOAs and performing all sort of
Correct.
trials, subsequent evaluation is always a time consuming task.
True.
The last question would be on the advanced welding processes. Now I think we are seeing the emergence of techniques such as electron beam welding and the friction stir welding. They are yet to establish. I think there are researchers who are working, and I think some of them are already. Say for example, if you look at friction stir welding, I think in aluminum it is getting stabilized, and we are seeing more and more uh, user cases. But then just wanted to get an idea, when you have this software and the database, how would one use this database for the emerging technologies like the electron beam welding and the friction stir welding process?
I think in one of the slides,
Asim,
Kushal
Asim,
highlighted.
I think I have missed sir's voice in between. Did you also face same issue?
No, for me
I
it
think
was
he
clear.
asked us two things. Huh? Okay.
It
Electron beam
was
welding and
clear.
friction stir welding, I think. Okay. Tell them. Go ahead.
Kushal,
Go ahead.
it was clear to me. And
Okay.
sir, in one of the slide, Kushal has highlighted the capabilities of our solution in terms of handling different welding processes. So in our database, we have a library of different welding process. So now user has to select one of the means based on his requirement, her requirement. User can select a particular welding process from the library, and then uh, he or she can simulate for the required process. So the advantage, or the I would say the feature which makes Syswell different from the other solution or tools is that we have very all the things in a ready-made I would say options. So user can select that welding process from the library. User can select the required material from the library, and then they can define boundary condition like the process variant, and then they can define boundary condition like clamping. And for these variables, they can visualize the result in terms of how distortion is behaving, how residual stresses are coming up, what is the weld pool. So on the basis of these output, they can again go back to their input deck, and then they can optimize the process variant. So in a nutshell, what I would like to mention that for each and every single welding process, we have a library, and user can optimize the input parameter for the best output. It could be a laser welding, it could be friction stir welding, it could be a friction welding, it could be MIG welding, TIG welding. In any sort of welding process can be addressed with the Syswell solution.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Asim, one more question, Mr. from Mr. Premanand. In assembly, sometimes welded components are subject to pretension due to dimensional variation and assembly methods. Can we simulate effect of this on weld life?
Exactly. Very nice question. I would say that sometimes, say, I'm just bringing a situation that we are dealing with, say, for example, we have two sub-assemblies, sub-assembly 1 and sub-assembly 2, and these two sub-assembly are supposed to be assembled for the next steps, say, stage 3. So sub-assembly 1 is coming with some variation or some dimensional variation. Sub-assembly 2 is coming with some dimensional variation, and when it comes to stage 3, or when we have to join these two, probably we put some extra clamps, or we put some external forces to adjust these kind of dimensional variation, and the impact of these external forces is something which hampers the performance of the end assembly. So this can be well monitored as a function of residual stress buildup in the component as well as around the weld mat. So this can be reflected. Say if we are doing these kind means we can simulate for these external forces, we can simulate for some unnecessary clamping forces, and we can monitor the impact of those external forces and clamping forces on the residual stress pattern. And with the help of that residual stress monitoring, we can identify that, okay, boss, this is going to impact my end performance of assembly. Yes, for a time being, for a manufacturing point of view, we can address it. But going forward, when it comes to performance, it can impact the quality or the performance of the entire assembly. So these kind of simulation or these kind of exercise can be well practiced with the SysWorld solution.
Great.
I hope
Asim, thank you very much.
I hope
Yeah.
I addressed your question.
One point I would like to add here is, like, sir, whether it is pre-tension or even preheating for that matter, correct me, Asim, if I'm wrong, those situations can be included, during the welding process.
Yes, it can be done.
Yes. So if there are no further questions, we can end our meeting here. Thank you very much, everybody, for your attention and for a nice interaction that you have done. And thank you very much, Asim, for answering all the questions in an elaborative manner. Thank you very much.
Oh,